Welcome to another episode of Brothers Arguing Sports. Today, the question is, would you rather start your franchise with Giannis Antetokounmpo or Nikola Jokic? Go.
It's a question that the answer would have been the Freak for a long, long time, the last 2, 3 years. But I think the passing of this postseason, if I'm starting a franchise, whatever age you give me them at 25,
They're both
26,
28
28,
right
like
now. They're both 28.
I'm taking the Joker. And I'm taking the Joker, and this is why. What I've always loved about the Freak is you can put him on a bad team and he's going to carry the load. He's going to get you where you need to go. He's going to hustle. You're going to build your team, or at least you build your defense definitely around him. But what I've seen from the Joker this postseason, especially in that game 3 or 2 that they lost in the third quarter, but he said, "Give me the ball and I'll take you there." He showed that he can do it on his own. So the fact that he showed that he could do Giannis's specialty, and then you add to that everything else Jokic adds, the passing, you know, the shooting, um, and the fact that you run an offense through him and you build a team around him. Just like Giannis, they build the defense around him. But the Joker, you can build the whole offense through him, and he passes. He has a great touch. And what he does not have, which Giannis has shown, is two major weaknesses. Giannis can't shoot. I'm sorry, but he can't. And Giannis can't hit free throws. Two major weaknesses. So for those reasons, I'm going with the Joker.
Well, first I have to emphasize how close it is between both of them. Both 28 years old, both right about 7 foot tall, both have two MVPs. If they win Monday night, both will have a title. They are so similar when you break down their game. Now, what I love about Giannis, and I don't think he gets enough credit for it, he's the only player who really plays 100% defense down low and offense. He is running the whole game. So a 7-footer who plays that hard on defense and offense at that rate and at that speed, there's nobody like him. But then on the other hand, you've got Jokic, who there's nobody like him. There's no offense in the league that looks like the Nuggets, and he's the big reason because of all the different things he can do. Both are great character guys, too. They are both good team leaders in the locker room. They're both loyal to their small markets, both good off the court. So it is a truly close matchup. And I've always been a Giannis guy, and it's because of the defense. I love the Bucks defense. They were just a great defensive team, and you noticed it in the playoffs because, they've got Brooks Lopez, who's tremendous defensive player. Drew Holiday, tremendous defensive player. So you thought maybe it's the other players, Bobby Portis off the bench, but you noticed in the Heat series when Giannis wasn't there, their defensive intensity wasn't the same. So he really does lead the defense, which makes this.
Yeah, he played like a free safety.
Exactly.
Lopez, he hangs around the hoop, and Giannis is just the safety, and it really is built around him. Ends off the offense too, because they guard the three, they get the rebound, and they run with him.
He's great on the fast break, Giannis. He really is. He's similar to LeBron in that sense.
It's totally built around him, like the Nuggets are built around the Joker.
Yep. Now so my style of player, I love defense and I love running, but the Nuggets have also run the fast break too. And so this is a very hard question for me. And I'm going to base my answer just on a gut feeling I have. And that is, you look at Giannis, he won his MVPs in 2019 and 2020. In 2020, he really peaked because he also won the Defensive Player of the Year, and he won that title in 2021. This is just a feeling I have, is that Giannis's peak was about 3 or 4 years ago. And the fact that they haven't replaced Chris Middleton, I don't like the direction of the Bucks, whereas Jokic is peaking right now. I know he won his MVP this year. He didn't quite get it, but I just feel when I'm looking towards the future, I feel a little bit better, just a gut feeling about Jokic compared to Giannis. And because Giannis plays such a physical game, I wonder how he's going to hold up in his 30s compared to Jokic, where Jokic, he doesn't have all that.
Tough. You can't mention his team being bad when you're saying would I draft him or not.
But I'll tell you why I can.
This is
Because
about drafting the player. You can't knock his bad team for why you wouldn't draft him.
I understand what you're saying, but I feel now the defense is built around Giannis, but that offense, I really don't think Giannis makes other players better. Whereas Jokic, I feel a lot of the team is a credit to him. Murray's allowed to really blossom because of Jokic. I think, he's an assist guy. Giannis beats him in points. If you look at his career, Giannis scores a lot more points.
Yeah, but Giannis has a kryptonite. You saw against the Heat. You build the Great Wall of China, and it's a kryptonite on him.
But I'm getting to your point about teammates. I feel as though you could build a team easier around Jokic because of the way he plays. It allows other guys to flourish more. I don't think if you put Murray on the Bucks, he's as good a player. That's how I feel. Now, you build a defense around Giannis. I agree, but that's why my gut feeling is more. If you look back at the last 5 years, I take Giannis. He's been the better player. No question in my mind, he's been the better player. He's been a.
I've had Giannis too, because there's always been those doubts about Joker. Well, he's never done it in the postseason. That's really it. Whereas it's hard to take away Giannis won a ring, MVP, and dropped 50 in the closeout game.
Two MVPs, a defense
you
player
be
of the board.
You got to be a fool before this year, I think.
Yeah.
Not pick Giannis, but Giannis has weaknesses that are exploitable. One, he gets injured. He does.
He doesn't really get injured, TD.
Well, let me put it this way. Then. He gets injured less than the Joker.
The last few years, I agree. He's been in the 60s.
His entire career is 70 games plus. His entire.
Not this year. This year is in the 60s. He sat out a lot of games at the end. But I get your point. You're making my argument. That's why towards the future, I think as great as Giannis has been, he's going to be it's hard to duplicate the last 5 years and the next 5 years. I think there's a better chance of Jokic duplicating what he's done in the future.
And also, Zav, the amazing thing about the Joker is he really doesn't have a lot of weaknesses. That's the crazy
rim protection defense. That's his big weakness.
But I wouldn't say that's not. I wouldn't call his defense a weakness.
His rim protection.
I would call someone like Kyrie. Yeah, fine, but who would you rather have under the hoop, him or Kyrie Irving? Jokic, right?
Yeah, but my point is, players.
Even though he's not a great defender, that he's still a 7-foot, big, strong presence. So I think his defense is underrated. I think just his brains and his presence on there. It's not necessarily a strength, but it's definitely not a weakness. But I mean, Zav, Joker, he can take the three and he can hit it.
I agree.
He can get fouled. He's going to hit his free throws. He can take a mid-range shot. He's going to hit it. He can get hit around the rim. He has unbelievable touch. He's a world-class passer. Whereas Giannis, he's world-class at taking it to the rack. He's world-class at that. And he's a world-class effort guy. He's a world-class leader in that sense. But it's, there's times when you're rooting for Giannis, which I do, and you're just like, oh God, he's taking a jump shot, or oh God, he's taking a three.
100% agree.
Oh God, it's one of those.
I get the same feeling.
One of those bad. Yep, or it's oh God, it's one of those bad free throw nights. Where I've been rooting for Joker this postseason, And the dude just doesn't let me down.
I
He
agree.
just doesn't let you down. So
Yeah, I agree.
he's really impressed me.
Yep. All right. But remember, before the postseason, you were picking the Bucks because of Giannis. You were before.
Oh, 100%. But
Yep.
he disappointed big time this year. I mean, you can't ignore it.
You
Just like
can't.
I gave him all the credit in the world for winning the ring, scoring 50 in a closeout game. The same the same knock has to come when you go out in the
You have a bad
first round
post. Yep.
and you miss 17 free throws. I mean,
And he was hurt. But that's a knock against him. Getting hurt is a knock as well.
yeah.
Because I remember,
So
yep. And being healthy is a skill. Because think about it. Jokic hurt his ankle in the last game. He went out to the locker room. He came right back. If you remember when Giannis won his ring against the Hawks in the Eastern Conference, he went down, but then he came back. He hurt his leg against the Hawks, but I think maybe he missed one game, but bounced right back. That's a skill, staying healthy as well. And right now, the edge goes to Jokic. So we both have Jokic moving forward. Perfect.
yeah, I'm
All
going
right.
with the Joker.
Yep, we both are. All right. Talk to you later.
All right.